All right, firstly, the format of this video is gonna be very different than what you're used to, okay? No pretty background. I'm not here to promote one particular item necessarily. I wanna go over the process of how to pick a device to help you expand your single screen to dual screens on your MacBook, whether it's an M1, M2, or M3 base model. All those models do not natively allow you to expand to more than one screen. So if you do wanna expand to 2 screens, unfortunately, Apple does not let you do that natively, which I was disappointed with. I upgraded to a base M3 from a 2014 MacBook Pro Retina and was very disappointed that they downgraded the feature and you're not able to do dual screens natively. All right, so, but you know that, and that's why you're watching this video. And so what's more important, I think, than just the particular product is how to go about buying it and how to go about selecting it, because it can be very overwhelming, and I know it's overwhelming for me. So we're gonna narrow that down and make that a little bit easier for you, okay? So straight up, you're gonna have to spend between $80 and $90 starting, okay? So it's gonna be between 80 and like 190, all right? I know that's a big stretch, but when you're on Amazon, and you should be on Amazon because if you're looking for something and you're thinking that it may not work for you, then you do want something that has a good return policy, okay? I'm not against buying from companies like Monoprice or whatever that have excellent reputation, excellent products, okay? But with something like this specifically, I would advise getting from Amazon in case it's something that you don't want, that you do need to return, and buy something else, okay? But hopefully with this video, you won't have to be returning anything, okay? So to narrow it down, again, you're gonna expect to spend starting between $80 and $190, okay? And you're gonna be looking for something with the search term Displaylink, okay? That's all one word, Displaylink, or something called Instantview, also one word, okay? Do not get distracted by anything that does not have those terms, okay? Because when you type in on Amazon, you're gonna type in MacBook M1 Displaylink, okay? And when Amazon results show up towards the bottom and you're not gonna know where it is, it's gonna stop showing Displaylink and it's gonna show you items that just claim to expand to dual screens. And those products, from what I've read and what I've seen, those products don't necessarily work, and people have reported that when they do work, that it's not reliable. And then one day they turn on their computer and then the dual screen doesn't work and they have to unplug stuff, plug stuff back in, or restart the computer. And last thing you want is something that's unreliable, okay? And the way those things work, instead of using DisplayLink, they use a unknown driver or unknown software that isn't very well supported. If a company is making something that isn't well supported or isn't purchased in masses, then they're not going to be necessarily supporting that product well, okay? And one way to determine what company to buy from and whether they're worth it or not, or good or not, is you're going to go ahead and just type them into Google, okay? So on Amazon, you're going to see a bunch of companies that sell DisplayLink products, okay? Go to Google, go to their homepage, and if you see nothing but references to Amazon links, then you know that that website only exists to sell Amazon or through Amazon, okay? So those are gonna be smaller companies. You're not necessarily gonna wanna deal with them, okay? And you also wanna look at the lineup of products. If they only sell 1, 2, or 3 different products, then number one, they haven't been around long enough to produce other things, or 2, they probably exist to only sell those things, and if it doesn't work out, then that company shuts down and they start something else, okay? So you wanna look for a substantial company, a company that has its own website, that does more than just reference Amazon links, and that has a substantial fleet of products, okay? And so when I was looking through there, I mean, what's very important and what's more important than finding a product that works for you is to know what to avoid, okay? So we know to avoid anything that's under $80, because those do not have DisplayLink and they use other different kind of apps, or it's not apps, different software or drivers, and they have reliability issues. And some of those I'm gonna point out right now. I'm looking at my Amazon now, and there's some of those companies. One company is called Lemerel. Okay, you don't need to know how to spell it, just know that if you recognize that, stay away, okay? That product is $38, and I know that's gonna be very attractive to some of you. You're like, I wanna do dual monitors, but I don't wanna be spending $80 to $190 like Brian says. And then I wanna go and look at this and I'm gonna see if it works. Don't do it, okay? Don't waste your time with it because you're gonna try it and it may work and you'll be like, hi, it works. And then the next day it doesn't work anymore. And then you're gonna have to return it, or by then maybe the return period is over and then you're kind of stuck with it. All right, so you do want to look for a Displaylink for reliability. And again, a company that has its own website, that does more than referencing Amazon links, that has a fleet of other products, okay? And one of those companies is called TobenONE, okay? I may be the first one to reach out to them to ask how to pronounce their name, but it's TobenONE, okay? And they have a variety of products. And so much, in fact, that it may be a little bit overwhelming. So I do want to narrow down their fleet of products to help you decide what would work for you. Okay, because they sell two different products mainly that have two different footprints. One is a 65 watt version and one is going to be a 100 watt version. So we're going to take a look at that now and get a little bit closer. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and look at my layout for my desk and how I set that up and see if that's something that you may want to do. I will unplug this shortly so you can see the back and how the ports look like in detail, but I did want to show you how this looks like set up on my desk and how it's currently plugged in. So I do have one monitor here, HDMI, a second monitor, HDMI. This black cord is the cable, and you'll see a blue cable hiding in the back, and that is my LAN cable for internet. And then this USB-C, this actually comes with the unit itself. And that just kind of feeds over, comes across, and goes into my computer. So it's a single cable that connects both monitors. All right, two more things. I want to go over, first of all, why you should be getting a docking station as opposed to a hub, and then how I chose TobenONE versus other companies. Okay, so firstly, why a docking station? If you're doing dual screens, chances are that you have a permanent setup and you're not going to be taking away your device and bringing it on the go. If for some reason you are expecting to have dual screens on the go away from your house often, then maybe you do want to get a hub versus a docking station. But docking station will offer you more inputs and outputs versus a hub. Okay, and if it's sitting in your house on your desk and it's there permanently, you don't necessarily care that it's that much smaller or that much easier to remove. Okay, because it's just going to sit there. So, and again, if you're going to be spending between $80 and $190, then you're going to probably want to buy something that's fairly substantial as opposed to something that is less substantial, that is portable, but comes at a higher cost and therefore kind of less value. All right, so I did go with the docking station. Second thing we're going to talk about is why TobenONE versus other companies, okay? And it's actually very simple. So I came across this company here, I'm looking on the website, it's called Wavelink, okay? And they sell it for $150, but I'm gonna be honest, it looks ugly. It looks like it belongs in a data center. It's just this black box, and if you're gonna be, I don't know, if I'm gonna be spending something fairly substantial, and I think anything over $100 is fairly substantial, then I kind of want it to look nice, especially if it's gonna be on my desk permanently, right? And then there's other companies, you've heard of Ugreen, and I do have one of the Ugreen charging adapters, so I'm familiar with their products and their quality, which is excellent. However, $250. Okay, so that's a little bit beyond our budget, or at least my budget. And so TobenONE is basically one of the companies that exist that have a substantial number of products, then have good quality. Okay, so I did purchase one of their products, and let me see here. They have 35 different products. This guy, all right? So I bought this, not secondhand, but this was an open box product from Amazon. That's what that sticker means, for $138. And then 2 days after I installed it, it was on sale for $138, except it was brand new rather than open box. But there was nothing wrong with this. As an open box, came in original packaging, and it literally didn't look like it was used at all. So I'm very happy with it. So happy, in fact, with the quality and the fact that it works very easily. Installed the driver and it just works. The setup was like next to nothing. So after getting this and after liking it, I did reach out to the company to see what other products that we could share with you guys. and they came up with this guy, okay? So it's a different footprint, and it looks like this, okay? So we're gonna go over in detail. Actually, we'll just go over right now. This one is gonna be specifically for 3 screens, okay? Not for 2 screens. So you're sacrificing a little bit as far as price. This one is priced at $170, and there may or may not be sales going on right now. And the product that I ultimately picked, I'm gonna show you in a moment. But the reason why, actually, you know what? I think it'd be easier if I just take that out right now and then we'll discuss it side by side. This is the product that came in this box that I got the other day. And the reason why I like it is, looks very nice. And it has, all right, on the back, it has all 4 ports, okay? But don't be mistaken, this product only supports 2 extra screens, not 4, okay? So of these 2, here it says display 1 and here it says display 2. You can pick either HDMI or DisplayPort, okay? Either HDMI or DisplayPort. You can't plug in all 4, okay? So you're gonna pick 1 of 2 here and then 1 of 2 here, and then you'll have a total of 2 screens. On the back is gonna have this USB-C, and that is not the power, but that connects straight to your computer. All right, so this is gonna be occupied straight to your computer, and this is your LAN connector, which is gonna be your wired internet, and I do recommend that if you have that option, if you're near a router or it's close to you at your house or on your desk. This here is gonna be a barrel connector for power, all right? Remember that, because this is gonna be very different than the next product I'm gonna show you, which does not have a barrel connector. And these are gonna be 3 USB-As for various things like speakers or whatnot. And then on the front side, which is here, the one facing you, you have audio, which you can also use for your speakers or headphones if you're a gamer or whatever you're doing. And then USB-A, but 3.0. And then you have this, which is a USB-C out, and you can use this to charge your cell phone or whatever it is. And then we have a SD card reader and then a micro SD. Okay, the second product. Okay, this one here is gonna support 3 screens. And I would only get it if your plan supports 3 screens versus 2 screens. If you're only gonna do 2 screens, I would get this because there are some benefits over this versus this guy. All right, let's go over the back. All right, so the back, you can only support HDMI, and VGA. All right, so it's not like you pick one of these and then do this. You can actually plug in all 3 of these. I do not have an adapter and I don't have a screen that uses VGA other than the screens in front of me right now. And those run on HDMI, so I'm not gonna be able to test that for you, but from my communication with TobenONE, they're very good about it. They return my emails within a day, and I think it has to do with the time zone. Otherwise, they would have returned my emails a little bit sooner. So I don't have issues with any communication with them, and if you do have problems, I'm sure they'll help you out. But VGA, HDMI. And notice here that the power is through USB-C versus the power here is through the barrel connector right there. All right, so why is it an advantage to have USB-C as your power? Let me tell you why. Because in the box here is the adapter for this guy, okay? And USB-C. So what does that mean for you in the practical world? That means you can take this out, if you wanted to, off your desk and bring this to a cafe or to your house or to your family or whatever, or wherever you take your laptop. You can use this as your charger. In place of your OEM adapter, you can use this, okay? One thing about this though is the way the wire connects to the adapter itself is hardwired. It's not a USB-C that you can pull out and use this as a separate cable for your own needs, okay? This is gonna be specifically for charging either your laptop directly or powering your docking station. And this is a 67, I'm like getting old, I can't look really closely. This is a 67 watt power adapter. Okay, so this is gonna be similar, actually identical to your MacBook Pro M3 base, okay? And this will work for your MacBook Air 1 and 2 as well. Earlier I said that this one is better if you're doing 2 screens. Why is it better? You have, okay, well, first of all, let's just compare the back. The back, although you don't have support of 3 monitors like you do this one, you do have 3 USB-As, which are missing on this one, right? On the front side, let's go ahead and compare that again. And here you have 4 USB-As, and here you have 4 USB-As. And we also have the SD card readers, which are the same. And you have the audio jack, which is the same. One minor difference is that this USB-C is going to, as I said earlier, is going to connect to your phone or whatever accessory that you have. Whereas on this one, this USB-C is not usable. Why is it not usable? Because this is the plug that you're going to use to connect to your computer. Okay, so whereas this one, the plug that connects to your computer is off the back, okay, which is this USB-C. The connector that connects to your computer off this style is gonna be off the front. So you do not have a USB-C out for this model. So again, I would advise that you only get this if you are trying to support 3 screens. I don't know why you're trying to do 3 screens, but if you are, then you'd have to get this one because this one does not support 3 screens. Again, 2 screens, get this one. There's a lot of benefits over this guy if you're doing 2 screens, other than the fact that this one has the USB-C power adapter that you can bring on the go. But these days, a lot of the power adapters are fairly cheap. You don't have to buy OEM from Apple, and you have other options. So I don't think that's necessarily a selling point of this guy versus this guy. Earlier I said Displaylink, Displaylink, Displaylink. So this supports Displaylink. For whatever reason, TobenONE used Instantview as their driver for this product versus this product. Okay, so I tried Displaylink. I figured I had Displaylink already installed on my computer and I used this, so I'll just use the same thing and then operate this, but it does not work. Displaylink does not work on this. You need to use Instantview, which is legitimate because it works with this company and it just works. So again, very easy product to deal with, and I think aesthetically they feel kind of nice. One thing about this guy is it does have these pads on the side, so you can mount it on your desk vertically. Okay, I don't necessarily like that because I just prefer it sideways for whatever reason. But I also use it for my Funko Pop guy, and he kind of sits there as like on a stage. Whereas for this one, because it's narrower, you're not going to want to do it vertically. I mean, there's some pretty good substantial weight to this, so I'm not worried about toppling over, but it's just as you have cables in the back here, and then you may have things in the front, just kind of sticking things in and out. It's going to be a lot easier if you have it flat versus, flat this way versus having it vertical. All right, with the new device installed, I just want to show you that it does work dual screen. The only hiccup that I had installing or getting this to work is when I installed Instantview, it says that it's gonna quit and then restart the program, and then it still didn't work. So what I had to do was just restart the computer and it works and everything's fine. One important thing I forgot to note. So how this display works is that it's actually recording in real time your screen and then displaying it on the monitor. And so what this means is that you cannot, okay, I repeat, you cannot watch Netflix or Hulu or anything like that on those screens. And the reason why is because it has to do with copyright infringement and stuff like that. So they're tied together, and your restriction and limitation is that you cannot watch Netflix on those screens. So be aware of that. I just don't want you to be disappointed if you load things up hoping to do that and it doesn't work. So it's not designed to, or it's not expected to, so be aware of that. I was trying to make this video short, but there's a lot of info. One last thing about having a docking station, and that's that if you have the docking station which has a built-in power source, that means your laptop is constantly being charged as you're using the docking station. So if you've read anything about charging lithium batteries and all that, you may be a little bit concerned that charging your laptop 24/7 is not healthy for the battery. And I personally do believe that's true. And the way around that is using software. So there's something called Aldente, and I'll put a link in the description below just so you know where to find it. And the software enables you to keep your power plugged in, but selectively charging or discharging or not charging based on your needs or your schedule or your use. And so that's something that I think is very important if you're using a docking station that has a built-in power source that's plugging in your laptop. If you're using your laptop as a computer that's primarily at your desk rather than out and about. That is it for the video. Hopefully you learned something about how to pick a device for supporting dual monitors for your computer, for your Mac M1, M2, or M3 base model specifically. And I do have links in the description below for these. I do not get a kickback. I am not an affiliate with them. This is not a monetized channel. I'm just putting it there so it's easier for you to find. Okay, take care. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.